The painters. Ever wondered what happens when the Mona Lisa grows a five-head and picks up a meat cleaver? Yeah, it's not a masterpiece. It's Mona D. Lanius, one half of the serial-killing duo known as the Painters. And yes, her name's Mona, like the painting, but her art's more morgue than museum. Turns out, the only thing worse than a tortured artist is one who tortures you. Mona operates from a rotting textile factory she lovingly called hell, but her real canvas is everywhere. Family homes, barns, basements, attics. What makes her disturbing isn't just that gigantic forehead. It's the fact she kills not out of rage or survival, but out of pure fascination. Her murders are slow, deliberate, and deeply personal. Her spree spans over 100 confirmed deaths, each turned into a grotesque exhibit for an audience of zero. She went after kids, animals, entire families, and even unborn babies. Because when Mona commits, she commits. God forbid a girl has a hobby, even if it involves chopping people up and dipping them in paint. Still, the worst part. The art wasn't even that good. A bit basic, honestly. You'd think someone with a skull that size would have more imagination. Maybe she should ditch murder and work as an airport runway instead. Luckily, her run ended during a failed murder when her partner Bill was shot dead by Officer Nathan Cole. Mona surrendered calmly, because nothing says artist like never finishing a project. In the end, Mona called it art. The police called it evidence. Either way, the exhibition closed, and this time, Mona wasn't framed, just caught. The Big Bad Wolf, which sounds less like a killer and more like a stripper who opens for Magic Mike on Thursdays. But in the Fairy Tales analog horror series, the Big Bad Wolf isn't just some cautionary tale told before bedtime, or sexy time for that matter. He's the thing crawling underneath the bed. And no, he doesn't huff or puff. He just appears, and when he leaves, the room is quieter and the heavy breathing isn't yours. He started off as a boy, small, bullied, discarded by a village that turned cruelty into a habit. One day they set his house on fire. He survived. They didn't. After murdering his abusers, something in him split. He made a deal with a witch and traded what was left of his soul to become something far worse than a werewolf, an alpha male. And not the YouTube kind who says women over 30 have expired, but the kind that actually kills people, not just your interest in dating. And he doesn't just haunt one story, he runs a whole franchise. Little Red Riding Hood, Hansel and Gretel, The Three Little Pigs. Different casts, same routine. Act harmless, steal a voice, and when the tape cuts forward, there's blood on the walls, bones in the bed, and the wolf smiling like he's about to say, "Once upon a spine." Because unlike your average fairy tale villain, this one doesn't learn a lesson. He's not a werewolf, no guilt, no redemption arc, just hunger, charm, and the occasional monologue. He's sadistic and immortal. Unless you're a pig with a grudge, a gas can, and absolutely nothing left to lose. The Moon. In the analog horror series Local 58, the moon isn't just a background prop. It's the star of the show, and not in a good way. Local 58 poses as a low-budget public access station, broadcasting emergency warnings and old cartoons. But behind the static, something else is sending signals. The moon hijacks official warnings, replacing them with calm, false instructions. People are told not to look at the sky. Then, moments later, another message cuts in. It's safe. Please view the moon. Viewers do. And vanish. That's the pattern. No direct violence, just quiet suggestions. You see, the moon doesn't need armies. It just needs airtime. Its goal is quiet but clear, mass control and eventual extinction. Once you realize that, you start to think, maybe we really should have let Gru steal it, and it plays dirty, not in a mooning kind of way, though that would be less disturbing. It once hijacked a GPS to lead someone off a cliff. Then it spoofed weather alerts to lure people outside for safe sky viewing. Guess what happened to them? They didn't come back doing the moonwalk, that's for sure. So yeah, maybe the werewolves were onto something with the whole full moon equals danger idea. Except this one doesn't turn you into the big bad wolf. It just convinces you to throw yourself off a balcony. Think of it like a cosmic version of those Thailand full moon parties. You show up for a good time, and instead, you wake up spiritually hollow with no memory and possibly less internal organs. The Mimic. The Mimic, or Trucidatum carnis, which is basically Latin for salami, is a flesh-borne predator from the analog horror series Vita Carnis. It starts off small, nervous, hairless, and twitchy. A juvenile mimic is scared of humans and mostly preys on small animals. But give it time and protein and it evolves into something worse, a predator that stalks only humans. Adult mimics track a victim, learn their routines, and wait right behind your couch. Its idea of conflict resolution? Wait until you're half asleep, then introduce you to what's at stake, meaning your life. And if you try to fight back, let's just say you've made a big mistake, because the mimic is absolutely ready to beef with you. Its body resembles a skinless human, stretched and twisted in all the wrong places, long limbs, bulging eyes, clammy red skin, and a tooth-filled grin that never goes away. It can flatten itself to hide in furniture, expand to intimidate, and slink around with duck-footed precision. And just because it looks like something you'd find on a butcher's floor doesn't mean it's stupid, because if it eats enough, it becomes an elder mimic. That's when things go from medium rare to well done. It grows larger, smarter, and harder to kill. The gums evolve into a bony beak, the skin turns jet black to blend into darkness. And once you notice them, it's likely too late. 1 second, you're safe. Next, you're getting grilled. Elder mimics are apex predators, designed to disappear, wait, and end you without a sound. There's no known method to kill them easily. And aiming for the head, let's just say, you better be a rare talent. The boiled one. The boiled one, also known as the oiled one, Fen 228, is a cognito-hazardous entity from the analog horror The Boiled One phenomenon. It made its debut during a broadcast hijack in Pennsylvania, when a rerun of a 1990s nature documentary was suddenly cut off by Broadcast 813. Instead of deer footage, viewers were treated to a steaming nightmare. A tall, red-skinned humanoid with melted, questionable features like he took a bath in acid. And if you're wondering why he's called the Boiled One, partly the flesh, but mostly because he's boiling hot in the sexy way. Not the literal way, obviously, but make no mistake, if you ever meet him, you'll be the soiled one. His presence isn't just disturbing, it's dangerous to perceive. Once you remember his face, he burrows into your memory and starts showing up in your dreams. You'll wake up fully aware, completely paralyzed with him watching from the corner. Things get steamy, and if that's your thing, well, I guess you'll be the spoiled one. But what makes him worse isn't how he looks, it's how he lingers. Fen 228 doesn't strike. He infects. His voice drives panic. His image spreads like rot. One victim said it felt like he lived in their spine. Another heard trumpets every night before sleep. Over 500 people exposed to the broadcast slipped into pseudo-comas. And even after the footage was erased, the damage stayed, because memory alone was enough to let him in. The Intruder. The Intruder, also called Stanley, or the I Am Inside You guy, is a reality-warping entity from the Mandela Catalogue, an analog horror series where television stopped broadcasting sitcoms and started leaking bald guys from your TV. This bad boy first showed up in the 1990s by hijacking a fake kids show called The Might of the Subconscious. It told children to imagine a friend. Thousands of them did. Then thousands of them disappeared, which sounds kind of funny, until you realize it caused a national emergency, mass suicides, and a government ban on mirrors and analog TVs. The Intruder works through screens, TVs, phones, laptops, even security cams. If it lights up, he's probably already in there. He fakes voices, edits safety videos to say things like, "Subscribe to my channel," and talks in the kind of broken robotic tone that makes him sound like my AI voiceover when it has to pronounce a hard word. And you're probably thinking, what a dumb voice. Nice opinion. One small issue, he's already in your house. When he appears, he doesn't always look the same, but his favorite form is a black and white face with soulless eyes and a stretched out smile. Basically that ferret from Ice Age wearing a black hoodie. Honestly, the whole look screams hobosexual toxic X with boundary issues. No fixed address, always posted up in your house like he's paying rent. And true to the toxic X playbook, he's manipulative as hell. He slides into your thoughts, your memories, even your technology. 1 second you're watching cat videos, next you're being gaslit by a static-drenched home invader with abandonment issues. Gabriel. Gabriel, also known as the Holy Spirit, is another antagonist from the Mandela Catalogue, and the first known alternate. He appears angelic at first, but don't let the holy drip fool you. He's less peace be with you, and more prepare for psychological warfare. You see, Gabriel's a god-tier manipulator who rewrote religion, faked biblical history, and convinced humanity to worship a fraud. He basically deletes Jesus from the group chat and makes himself admin. When his mask drops, his true form is horrifying and straight up goofy. He's distorted, lanky, cartoonishly wide-eyed, and grinning with oversized teeth. And to top that off, he speaks in whispers that get under your skin and stay there. And when he shows his true form, he doesn't just hurt people, he breaks them. He appears in moments of doubt, grief, or faith, and corrupts all three. His actions push characters into despair, madness, or death, and he often appears just before something awful happens, like a grim omen. But what makes him most disturbing isn't his actions. It's the fandom simping. Seriously, y'all need to be drenched in holy water to get rid of that thirst. Honestly, I've seen less sinful behavior at a Vegas bachelor party. Don't forget, this man is literally the Antichrist with conditioner. Smash? Maybe. But you better bless your bed after. Because once Gabriel enters the scene, it's not amen. It's all hell no. The Locust. Picture this. Freak Bob is calling. You answer, but it's not him. Instead, it's the screen-hopping parasite from T.O.E., a series by Dr. Nowhere. And no, the sequel isn't called Feet. You wish it was that harmless. It's unclear what the Locust really is. A bug? A failed attempt at companionship? Whatever its origin, it crawled out of Pen Palace, a version of an old-school messaging app like Omegle, and it's been lurking behind screens ever since. It usually appears in a room with wallpaper dreadful enough to make your grandma weep. From the moment it shows up, you'll hear heavy breathing. It speaks in clipped sentences, stares too long, and eventually starts tapping the screen like it's trying to order McDonald's takeout after a rough night out. Then it breaks through, and when it does, it speaks in broken grammar. Starving. Help, please. Which would almost be cute if it didn't end in organ theft. Victims are found untouched, but hollow, missing more than a few organs. Maybe he's the one who hosted the full moon party. Would explain a lot, but while being a predatory creature, it still exhibits childlike curiosity and manner of speaking. It kind of wants to be your friend, right before slurping up your organs through a straw. So when it starts tapping the screen like it's at an aquarium, that's not curiosity, that's dinner bell energy. And if you respond, don't be surprised if you end up as the special.
Please help me. Here too much raining.
This isn't FaceTime. It's feast time. That's all for now. Sleep tight, don't let the Freak Bob Locust FaceTime you at 3 a.m.